Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that people have been looking forward to for a really long time. It has suffered a whole bunch of delays, and for some reason, inexplicably, CD Projekt Red never seemed to learn the lesson that stop telling us when the game is coming out. Just put your head down, work hard, and tell everybody it will be released when it's ready and not a moment sooner. They just kept telling us, well, it'll be on this day. And then that day would be, 10 days away or something. And they'd say, you know what? We need more time. It'll be on this day. And they kept doing that over and over. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't walk away from this video thinking for a moment that I don't think that the devs at CD Projekt Red worked incredibly hard to bring Cyberpunk 2077 to all of the platforms that they brought it to. The problem is the last year of development was very crunchy. And because it was so crunchy, I think that the devs were in fact overworked, and they ended up shipping and hitting. I mean, finally they hit a deadline. And when they hit that deadline, they were not ready. And what I would have done if I were in charge, which I am not, and I don't pretend to understand how money works. So, maybe there's a good reason that I'm not in charge. But if I were in charge, I would have said, I'm sorry for the delay. The game will be done when it's ready. You won't hear from us again until it is actually ready. And then I would wait until it's ready, like completely ready. And I would wait 2 weeks. And then I would say, hey, everybody, the game comes out in a month. I think that that's really the way to go. And I understand that CD Projekt Red, they spent a lot of money making this game. They need to recoup that investment as soon as they can. I understand that. And I understand the tendency of suits to sometimes make decisions to ship a game that's not done because we can patch it later. This is not a new phenomena. We have seen this phenomena many times in the gaming industry, and this is just one of the worst examples of that. Somebody made a decision to ship the game whether it was ready or not. Now, if you are playing on one of the new consoles, or if you're playing on Google Stadia, or if you're playing on a high-end PC, you're good. You've got no problem. CD Projekt Red did a great job bringing Night City to life and giving us Cyberpunk 2077 on those platforms. But if you're on the Xbox, like the old Xbox, and if you're on the PS4, like the old PS4, that's going to not be a good experience for you, as I'm sure that most of you already know. And the amount of PS5s or Xbox Series X's, or the new GeForce 30 series cards that are out there, that's not a lot of people. And so shipping the game to just them is going to be kind of painful because not a lot of people can play that. Now, of course, you can play it on Stadia. You don't have to invest in anything. You can play the game at 1080, 60 frames per second without spending a dime on anything other than the game. And I think that that's awesome. And honestly, I think that is the best place to play it. I prefer playing. I've played it on GeForce Now, and I've played it on Stadia. And I prefer to play it on Stadia because it's so console-like. You just hit the button, you're in the game like that. And sure, it doesn't have ray tracing, but I don't care. I don't care if it doesn't have ray tracing. It's awesome. It's a really, really great game. But if you are a vast majority of the users out there, PS4, Xbox One, you basically got a kind of a steamer, in my opinion. Well, I can't really say in my opinion. I can only reiterate others' opinions because I don't have the game on either of those systems. I do own a PS4. It's a PS4 Pro, but I didn't buy Cyberpunk for my PS4 Pro. I bought it on Stadia because that's the platform that I wanted to play it on. Well, CD Projekt Red, they seem to understand that people were very unhappy with the performance of the game on the older consoles, And so they basically said, without, I guess, checking with Microsoft or Sony, if you want a refund, you can get one. Now, there's been a few tweets out there where people are trying to return their game to Sony, and Sony said no. Sony has since relented, and they've said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and allow people to return the game if they want, and we're going to go beyond that. We're also going to take it from the digital store. So you can still go out to a store and buy a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the PS4, but you cannot go on the online store and purchase a digital copy of the game. Sony has said temporarily we're going to remove that. I think that's the good move. I think that's the right move. If you ask me for my opinion, which I know nobody is, I would have said that CD Projekt Red should not have shipped these games or this game on these systems. They should have shipped it on PC when it was ready for PC. They should have shipped it on the next gen consoles as soon as it was ready for those, and they should have shipped it on Stadia as soon as it was ready for that. I understand the desire to put out the game on all of the platforms at once, but when you have such a stark difference between the experience of the game on platform A and the experience of the game on platform B, when platform B is clearly wildly inferior and not anywhere close to how you have shown off the game to be, you should just not ship it on that platform if you can't reach that standard. And I feel like Cyberpunk has undone a lot of the goodwill that they have spent many years building. They've undone it with this launch of this game, especially for people who do not use Stadia, who do not have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and who do not have a high-end PC. So Sony said, you know what, you're right, CD Projekt Red, we're gonna go ahead and do the returns. And then Microsoft did the same thing. Microsoft said, to ensure that every player can get the experience they want on Xbox, we will be expanding our existing refund policy to offer full refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk 2077 digitally from the Microsoft Store until further notice. While we know the developers at CD Projekt Red have worked hard to ship Cyberpunk 2077 in extremely challenging circumstances, we also realize that some players have been unhappy with the current experience on older consoles. So CD Projekt Red 100% made a mistake here. And I like that the customers are holding their feet to the fire. I like that they are saying, yes, we'll give you your money back. We're sorry it doesn't reach your standards. But here's the thing. They should also be your standards. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to game developers and publishers as a whole. Although, let me rephrase that. I'm talking to the suits that make the decisions. Because I guarantee, with zero inside knowledge, this is just me talking out of my rear end, but I guarantee that the developers who are working on the PS4 version of the game or the Xbox One version of the game, I guarantee that somebody there stood up and said, we can't ship this yet. It's not ready. People are not going to be happy with it. And nobody listened. It's like that old meme where, they've got the people in the boardroom and the one person that says the thing that makes sense gets thrown out the window. I feel like that's probably what happened here, is that the people who made the decisions didn't listen to the people who knew what was going on. And these are probably the same people that kept putting down release dates, that kept saying, we're going to delay, but here it is 10 days later, or whatever the delay was. When instead they should have said what I said at the very beginning of the episode, unless I edit it out, I don't know. The game will be ready when it's ready, and not a moment sooner. That's the way that publishers should behave. They should get rid of crunch. They should take longer to develop games. and they should ship the games when they're ready and not a moment sooner. That's all that we want as gamers. And to all of the people who were screaming at CD Projekt Red, release the game, release it now, we want the game now, and complaining every time that there was a delay, why do you want substandard quality games sooner? It's not like we don't have mountains upon mountains of games to play all of the time. Why do you need this game to ship right now, even if it's not done? I do not understand that argument. It's like eating your food before it's finished cooking. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to enjoy it more if you leave it on the grill for just long enough. Anyway, CD Projekt Red is offering refunds on the Xbox One and PS4. Sony and Microsoft are getting behind it. Sony has yanked the game off of their store. So if you are one of those people who only has an Xbox or only has a PS4 and you're looking for a place to play the game, well, I've got good news for you. You can play it on Stadia. It runs really, really well. In fact, they just patched it, and it looks even better than it did on launch day. The game is really fun, and I highly recommend it, but good God, stay away from the older consoles for this game because apparently it's a real bad experience. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.